Good morning everyone. Myself Uma Maheshwari, the Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration in Sri Shakti Kailash Women's College. Now I am going to discuss you about research methodology. Let's start to the topic. Research methodology. So we are all heard about research methodology. So research methodology means first we have to segregate the word research come methodology. So research means it is for getting a more knowledge in a topic, we must search lot of information, lots of facts. So for that purpose we will be searching again and again in a particular topic. That is called as research. Then let us see what is methodology. So methodology means it is a systematic way of finding a solution to a problem. So together with research methodology, it means research means as I told you, it is finding a solution, finding an answer to a problem, whereas research methodology means finding doing a systematic way to find a solution to the problem. Okay, next see what are the process that are all involved in doing a research. So as I told you, research methodology is a systematic way of finding a solution to a problem. Means we have to follow a procedure. So that is comes under the process of research. First we must to pose a question, which means first we must know what is the problem. So the problem is again said as a question. So to solve the problem we should get lots of information. So gaining lots of information will be a half solved problem. So that is the next process is collect data to the answer the question. Then final thing is present an answer to the question. So these are all the three steps which are all done for the purpose of research. First process of finding a solution is we have to collect data. Lots of data collection is the main process in doing a research methodology. So this data collection can be divided into two parts. One is primary data and another one is secondary data. So primary, let's see what is primary data. Primary data is which is originally collected by the researcher for his analysis. Likewise, secondary data means which is already collected by someone for some other purpose is called as secondary data. Okay, so now let us see what are all the nature of primary data and what are the natures of secondary data. Okay, so I told you primary data refers to it is a first hand information by the researcher, and secondary data is someone else. Next slide. Okay, so what are all the nature of primary data is, that is sources. What are all the sources? It means primary data is collected by the person for his research, means he can go for survey, he can go for observation, and he can do experiments, and he can give questionnaire to the respondent, and he can get information through that also. Then he can conduct a personal interview from the respondents. Okay, so next step what he will give is data collection. So this is nature of primary data is it is a real-time data. Since it is collected by the researcher for his purpose, it will be a real one, and since the researcher himself does the primary data, it will be very involved. What thing is needed is he will be collecting. Next one is cost wise, in the sense it will be expensive, since the researcher himself goes directly to the persons each and everywhere he goes, so it will take some expensive for collecting the data. Next one is time involved. So since researcher goes in direct for collecting the data, time consumption will be high. Next one is specific, always specific to the researcher's needs. The researcher himself collects the data, since what's the question, what's the problem, he knows very well. So since what he wants to ask to the respondent, he asks. So the researchers collects the data which are all required for him. So it will be specific. Next one is secondary data. Secondary data. So secondary data means which is already collected by some other persons, which we can go and take. Okay, so what are all the sources available means government publications, websites, books, journal articles, and internal records. So these will be already prepared by some other person. So if the researcher wants, he can collect the data from those things also. Next one is data. What are the type of data means it will be past data. Already it is done, so it is a past past data. It cannot be a present one or it cannot be a future one. So it will be a past data. Process in this thing, the access will be very easy. Since it is a collected one, we can go and just, if for an example, if we go to a library, means we can take the book and we can refer it. So it is a ready-made one, so we can easily utilize it. Next one is cost wise, it is very economical because we don't have to go long, or we need not to spend a time. So time wise, cost wise, the secondary data will be very effective. Next one is specific. So since it is collected by some other person for some other purpose, it will not be a specific one for the researchers. Somehow we can utilize the content, but it will not be a specific one. This is the nature of secondary data and primary data. So in some researchers will be secondary data will be comfortable, whereas in case of if we are going for a marketing purpose, we have to go only for the primary data. If our research is only related to the like marketing, in the sense we have to collect newly. In data collection method, we saw that primary data collection and secondary data collection. In primary data collection, there is 4 types of collecting methods. One is observation method, interview method, and questionnaire method, and database method. So in each area we can collect our content. So this is by interview also we can collect the information. By giving a questionnaire also we can collect what all the answers we need. Likewise, database is also available. So with this, I'll conclude this session. In next session, let us see about the secondary data collection.